Coach Harvey again. Hey, I want to make sure that I give credit where credit is due first. I'm going to leave the content creators' information on here. I'm not trying to cut their information out and try to make a video off of, by not giving them their credit. I'm going to leave everything up and then we're just going to talk through this. The biggest thing, Devin Booker is an outstanding shooter. He has very good form. And he's a consistent shooter. And then what you will find with the consistent shooters is they will have typically the same type of form. There's some outliers, but if you look at some of the majority, it's that same form. But for young players, and this is even with older players, the most critical point is the dribble pickup and the catch. So that's a transition from I'm dribbling the ball, now I pick the ball up, and do I pick the ball up correctly so it helps me flow into my shot? Or I catch the ball, or do I catch the ball correctly so it helps me flow into my shot? Um, you will see a lot of kids or a lot of players, they're fighting the ball the whole time because that one transition point is the weak point of their jump shot or in their shooting. So now they're fighting, okay, now I've got to hook the ball. I got to do a lot of different weird things because the way I caught the ball or the way I picked the ball up off the dribble doesn't make it easy for me to come up with a clean shot. So let's watch Devin Booker here again. So again, no, let me go back just a little bit. Look at his hand already. His shooting hand, his wrist is already cocked back, getting ready to catch the ball. That is one of the most critical points on shooting the ball. Even off the dribble, typically, especially if you're a right hand player, I know I love to shoot with a left hand dribble flowing to my right hand, and my wrist will be cocked as I catch the ball. You'll see Steph does the same thing. You'll see Clay does the same thing. That wrist is already ready, locked and loaded. It's not fully locked and loaded, but it's as that ball comes in, it's already starting to be locked and loaded or just there. And so what I mean by that is this, you see his right hand at the top of the screen here. See how it's bent back on how he's catching the ball? And so that is critical on the ability to get up under the ball, which we will show in a minute, and to flow through the ball and have everything flow up. We got too many kids that shoot at the basket, not up and drop the ball in. And again, you can't shoot up if you don't get your wrist under the ball. So let's go back and let's continue. And again, see how the wrist is cocked again. It's behind the ball. You know what I'm saying? His left hand, his weak hand, is to the side, actually being able to pull the ball in to his shooting hand. Okay. Now, again, that elbow on the left side is down his side, but it's actually not sticking out. It's not tight to his body. It's loosely straight down, and he's getting ready to flow through. So let's go a little bit further. He dipped, and then as you see him dip, that wrist is still cocked. And see, this elbow starts to come out now. Look at his left elbow starting to come out. And his wrist somewhat rotates down on his left hand. His fingers somewhat rotate down because look at where his right hand is. His right hand's above the ball, maybe at a 45, I'm going to say a 45-degree angle, and I may not be explaining that well. But again, his wrist is behind the ball. He's ready to go. He's locked and loaded. And stop. Okay, so now, see, from that dip of the ball, what does he do? He comes straight up and drives his shooting elbow forward, keeping his wrist and elbow. So if you think of this angle between his shoulder and upper arm to his forearm, keeping that about the same, maybe tightening it up a little bit, but he drives the elbow forward, which then brings the ball up. Okay, so the ball up goes up. Note on top of that, note the bend of his waist is still around the same, and his knees are still bent. I keep trying to tell kids, let the ball lead you up. You don't jump first and then bring the ball up. I've got a couple of kids who do that now. They jump first and then they're bringing the ball up, or they're trying to do it all at the same time. The ball leads you up. So as he gets past, the ball gets up to his eyebrows, forehead area. That's when his upper body unlocks with the ball, and then his knees start to unhinge and they start to drive upwards. Okay. But again, here he's still down. He's getting ready to start to come up. But all that, the upper back comes up first. The ball comes up first. The upper back then drives the ball, and then the legs fire so that he can then get the shot off. Boom. See how that happened? Upper body, see the ball's up. Look at his upper body is straight up. His knees just fired. So now he's starting to drive straight up, not at. The problem I'm having with quite a few kids is they keep shooting at the basket. So what happens is the ball is, you're almost shooting from your chest right at the basket versus the ball coming up past that forehead eyebrow area, coming up and at more than a 90-degree angle is where his release point should be, meaning this shooting elbow should be above his eye when you release the ball. It shouldn't be straight at the basket. It should be above his eye. And your wrist and forearm will flick the ball to the basket. This is getting the ball up. We're going up. Okay, so now he's uncoiling, he's releasing all that energy up. And then it will, in a second, it will then start, that energy will go up and then start directing to the basket. So again, see how that is? Again, elbow, ball, hand under the ball, not to the side of the ball, under the ball. Left hand here, his off hand is here. And what he will do is end up just releasing the hand off of here and then letting the ball slide through. Some kids, I think Steph has a little bit of a thumb flick with the left hand. Some kids have that. I would say don't do that. But again, it's hard to tell a kid, well, it's not hard, it's easy to tell them, but it's just once they get comfortable with that thumb flick to help them, then it gets hard to break that habit. But what should happen is this hand should come off of the ball and this should fire up. This hand should start to slide off the ball as this hand is pushing the ball forward. Okay, so we're going to go forward a little bit more. All right, so again, as he's pushing forward, again, he's going up. Now, this is where it's starting to get to the point where it's going to be, let me make sure we hit this point. Note the shoulders. Note the tilt. Okay, his dominant hand, or his dominant side, his shooting hand and shoulder are tilted towards the basket. The weak side is tilted away from the basket. It's not over exaggerated. I got some kids who will try to shoot almost sideways. No, but that takes the pressure off of this shoulder when you're slightly tilted to your dominant hand. It takes pressure off of this shoulder. And so as he's following through here, so he's still coming up, in the wrist and um the wrist and the forearm flick and the finger flick will push it this way, but everything else is going this way. All right. So now he's starting to elevate off the ground. And bingo. Note the elbow is above the eye. Okay. Now again, it's not a great angle because the way we're shooting it from down below him. But this elbow, you can tell very clearly, this elbow is above his eyes. And you want that elbow to be above your eyebrows area. All right. So then now he follows through. And again, look at the left hand. He didn't do a thumb flick. He just let his hand off of the ball, let the ball slide out of his hand on his offhand. All right. And then he follows through. Boom. See that? So I said greater, I said greater than, it can't be 45. It's 45 you're shooting at. But again, see that angle there? And then he follows through. Again, I'm usually trying to say people say reach in the cookie jar or whatever. I usually try to say bring those fingers down, curl them down, more than straight fingers. But again, this is fine as well, because look at that wrist, because he had good follow through there. It's just those last two things that happen, or those last two fingertips that hit the ball off of his hands. How does he shoot it? Each kid is different. And again, this hand is just there. The ball is gone now. And look at the shoulders. See the shoulders? Again, still tilted. Eyes are looking at the basket. Eyes are looking at the ball. Some people say they like to, I think Steph said he likes to watch the ball. Some people look at the rim. But again, you should be looking at the rim of the ball, whichever one you feel comfortable with. But you should not, that's where your focus should be. So let's just go through it again. He's got a pretty shot. With that type of form, it's hard to tell me that if with consistency, he's not going to shoot a good percentage, taking good shots. Great form. Again, how he catches it. Look at the catch. He dips it. Some people try to say not to dip it. Some people dip it. I won't fight a kid over not about dipping the ball, because sometimes that gets them in rhythm. But the biggest issue it's got to be that first step on that dribble pickup or that catch. It's that dribble pickup, that catch. How do you do that? All right. Hey, let's get to practice. Let's get to work. All right. You guys take care.